It's Craig. You got me? I got a question from our interactive audience, and it's from Stephen Tomball. He says, Craig, what do you think about Josh Ennis? Dude finally got laid last week. Now that's all he talks about. What's up with that?
Well, you know what? This is my deal with Josh Ennis. I think Josh is a great orator. The guy can talk. You know, he's the white Barack Obama. Okay, he can run his damn mouth. But is he saying any damn thing? That's my issue with Josh. As a person, Josh is a cool kid. You know, I'm not into the weirdo fat kid that can't get a joke or date thing. That's really not my deal. I never had issues getting dates, so I can't relate to that. But you know, I think he's kind of a creep and kind of weird on acting on the radio and stuff. But I think it's by design. Josh is really, really smart and really talented. And I think what you get from Josh is intended. Josh intends to kind of creep you out and kind of be a goofball. He's not the greatest sports mind out there, but he's a very smart kid, and he's very talented. And I don't think he's going to be successful in sports talk, and certainly not in Houston. I just think that he's too metrosexual for Houston. I don't think Houston and our blue collar makeup, kind of like I talked about earlier with Mark Vandermeer. I don't think that we appreciate guys like Josh Ennis. I just think he's too, like I said, I think he's just too metrosexual, and he's not a man's man. He's not our type of guy. I think he's gonna do well in radio or TV, but I think he's gonna have to end up on the West Coast or East Coast. And I just don't think a city like Houston is never gonna really truly embrace a guy like Josh Ennis. He's just too damn far out there for the average guy down here, man.
Yeah, that was exactly my thing. He was, you know, when he first came there, he was funny, and man, and then it got played out quick as hell. And then next thing you know, they're switching the time slots, but man, he just came in and burned out fast to me, man.
Yeah, he just, you know, man, you know what Houston is, man. You know, this is a hardcore city. You know, we kind of like Detroit or the South in a way. You know, we're not, you know, this is a conservative state. This is a red state, and you know, guys like Josh Ennis are welcome. You're welcome, but your take on life is probably not going to be appreciated in down south in Texas. You know, I just don't think he fits what we're all about down here. You know, we don't. I don't want to turn on a sports talk station and hear some guy at 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon when I've been working all damn day or coming up by 10 pushing a damn rig across country and trying to make it home and turn on the radio. Some freak is singing 80s gay satire music on the radio on a damn sports talk station. I don't think guys in Houston want to hear that. And he just can't seem to get that out of his head that this is Sports Radio 610. #1 sports station in Houston. It is not the View. It is not the View. You know, guys don't want to hear you doing the stuff that he does, and I just think that marriage of him and Rich Lord is doomed. I just don't see it working, man. I just don't see that working.
The only way what I was expecting from that combination was I was expecting some fire, because I wanted them some bitches to clash and damn near go to fisticuff. Hell, that would have been a hell of a show to me. But now they're just like pussyfooting around each other and patting each other on the back, and it's so fake you can see it.
Well, Rich Lord is not a combative guy, and Josh is not a combative guy. So I can tell you now, Rich doesn't care for Josh. I mean, I've worked with Rich Lord, and I guarantee you that personality that I know to be Rich Lord and the personality that is Josh is not meshing. It is probably not going to mesh, but Rich has kind of been put in a bad position because CBS would like for Josh Ennis to be able to develop into a maturity level that they could trust him, and Rich Lord would probably be out of a job at some point, because with the price that Rich Lord and guys like Charlie Palillo, you know, Charlie Palillo, the highest paid sports talk host in the city, you know, that dude's raking in, you know, $200,000 plus a year. And I would imagine that Rich Lord is somewhere in that ballpark, not as high as Charlie, but somewhere in that ballpark. So that was a survey done via CBS Radio about 4 years ago, and it identified Rich Lord, Charlie Pillow, John Granado, and Lance Zerline as the top 4 voices in sports talk in the market. So clearly, if you CBS Radio, you want Josh Ennis to develop, and you can give Josh Ennis a 20% raise, and he's still nowhere in the ballpark of Rich Lord money, and you can save money because the numbers and things that Rich Lord will bring into the station, well, Rich Lord is just not going to drive a station. He's not going to drive ratings, but he's safe for sponsors. He's the quote unquote, clean-cut image that these program directors feel like they need in sports talk radio, which I don't get that. When sports is just so grungy, and it's all about, the whole culture of sports, which is anything but, goody two-shoes, so to speak. So, it's going to be interesting. That's going to be one of the more interesting dynamics to pay attention to in the market. The Josh Ennis and Rich Lord, and how that ends up playing out a year from now. It would be interesting to know that those two guys are still working together. That'd be real interesting.
Yeah, I doubt it myself. But hey, let me ask you some questions locally about who shaped your opinions? Uncles, dads, family? How did your sports opinions? How were those shaped?
That's a great question. Nobody asked me that before. Baseball wise, primarily attributed to my great grandfather growing up in Bay City, Texas. I spent a lot of time in Bay City, and great granddad was a war vet. We sat out on the porch, man, and it was real country back in them days. He used to sit right on the porch and shoot a damn coon from the porch, man.
That's awesome.
We sit there and listen to Astros baseball on the radio back when I was a little kid, man. I sit on my granddad's lap, man, and he'd be talking to me about baseball. So I grew up as a big baseball fan. We went to Astro games during the week, when they were in town. During the school weeks, a couple nights. I came from a baseball family. Now, football is interesting, man. My great aunt was the biggest football fan in the family. She was also the family's quote-unquote #1 Christian. But even on Sundays during football season, she made sure she got out of church early because she was not going to miss Earl Campbell and those Oilers, man. So,
hey, on that, man, my mama, she's a hell of a Rocket fan. Because me and my brother, we played ball in high school, and it was shit. There's some bits. I was like, God, Mama, she's a Christian too. It was crazy, but man, that son of a bitch, that's a foul. I was like, man, she just caught on because we was always watching Rockets back in the day. Alan Level, Robert Reed. Oh man, I've been a Rocket fan since 70s, 80s.
Yeah. Now, basketball was a little bit different. I would say my basketball fandom just kind of came on its own. That was just something I just developed. Just being a sports fan, football and baseball, and then, just the natural flow of the baseball, football, basketball seasons, crossing up with each other. As a kid, I just, started following basketball too. Moses Malone and Rudy Tomjanovich, Calvin Murphy, that generation of Rockets was a generation of Rockets that I really, I would say, probably started following as a kid, and I attributed, my dad lived on the West Coast. My biological father and mom wasn't married, but my stepdad, he wasn't a huge sports guy, man. He was more about his Thunderbird, man. As long as he had him about a Thunderbird, and he could get up early enough to go to work and sleep it off, that was his sports. He wasn't really a big sports guy, but then my dad, being out on the West Coast, man, he was out in the chasing women, man. He wasn't really a big sports guy either. I got most of my sports came from my great granddad and my great aunt, man, are the two people I would have to attribute it to.
Well, hell, on your dad on the West Coast, that's a damn sport itself, chasing women, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. He's yet to retire, I can say
that. All right, real quick. Let me pay you some bills. You're listening to StuckNet Radio at www.stucknet.com. We have on the air right now, we have Lesbian Craig. You guys can catch him at Houston Media Watch. This is we're going on over an hour right now, and the Houston guys are enjoying the hell out of this. So you guys just keep it rolling. I'm in charge of paying bills over here, as you can tell, Lesbian. So I got to take care of some of these things real quick. The real candid interview. I encourage you guys to go check out that website. It's once again, it's Houston Media Watch. Just all kinds of interesting things. The whole website's going to take a while, so y'all dig in. Dig yourself in there real quick and just kind of chill in there and make sure you get around that whole site, because it just keeps coming at you the whole time you're running through there. Once again, I was reading through there real quick, and I know you mentioned him about the Godfather that's on KCOH 1430 AM. Is that the station that you're going to actually be on, sir? Do you have a show on that station right now? And if you do, what time is it so that people can listen?
Right now, I'm a guest. I co-host with Ralph Cooper, the Godfather of Sports Talk in Houston. I co-host with him on Tuesdays from 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock on Sports Rap. And they can get that, they can go to urbanwebcast.com, urbanwebcast.com, and just click, you can just search urbanwebcast.com/Ralph Cooper, and it'll pull it right up, and you can actually, you can view us in studio via that avenue, or you can just go to kcohradio.com. If they're local, or you just don't want to stream and you want to go on and listen on the AM dial, it's 14